everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the knee-slapping K-pop podcast. I am Kayla, and today I am here with Sammy.
Hello.
And Maria.
Singing bing bong bong bing bong bong bing bong bong bong. That's it.
Okay. So we are here for more K-pop unpopular opinions, and this time these are our own opinions, so we have no one to blame for these except for ourselves.
I feel
but
no
these
shame.
are ours. No shame for any of them.
Woo!
We have...
Let's be honest, this is the third episode we've recorded in the last, 4 hours.
It
We're
is.
exhausted.
I feel like that's the correct energy to bring to the unpopular opinions episode, so here we are.
At this point, there's a reason we left this for last.
There is. It is. We got spicy opinions, but I feel like that is already known if you're listening to the
Absolutely.
podcast. So,
But these are our official ones.
officially, these should not be that surprising, really.
No.
But they are unpopular in the grand scheme of K-pop, so here we
Oh,
are.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yee.
Alright. You want to start, Maria?
Yeah. Okay. Nmix is objectively JYP's most talented group, but they get bad music. Facts. This isn't wrong. Truth. Albeit, the music's been improving lately.
Music has
though,
been better.
I'd say.
Getting
Music's
better.
It's been
definitely
getting
better.
For a group that talented, they should need to be getting better music.
Yes.
And I think that's a JYP problem.
That is definitely a
Yeah.
JYP problem. Yeah.
Because JYP has generally some bad music sometimes.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah.
And I don't know if JYP fully knows how to handle a group like Nmix and are very talented vocalists in the way that Nmix are a lot of the
Mhm.
time.
Absolutely not.
And the music is definitely better than when they debuted. It took them a little bit to figure it out, but it's still a little bit weird.
Mhm.
And I feel like they could be getting better music for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the latest, because, so we start bad, with, your OOs and your dice.
The worst, yeah.
We improve with, your, Party O'Clocks and your Love Me Like This.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last comeback, which is the other problem I have with the recent JYP, is that there's too many pre-releases.
Yeah.
Because because I know that the title track was Dash.
Right.
Mhm.
But then you have other shit.
We had
And,
Sonya Breaker, we got Run for Roses,
Run for
all
Roses.
before, and it's just
Yeah.
and JYP is doing that with ITZY now, and with Twice, and
And
with
JYP is doing that.
this is just what we're doing.
The worst one was Twice, which is where I thought we had gotten the comeback 2 weeks ago, and then what is it, One Spark or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
It just came out a week ago, and I'm like, wait, this was the comeback?
Right.
Because he started doing it so much before.
It's so unnecessary.
It is too much. So that's another unpopular opinion. Stop doing this.
Stop with the pre-releases.
True.
Yeah.
But again, I think that the overall Nmix, for this one, it did seem more cohesive than both Nmixes and Twices.
Yes, definitely.
They all have similar vibes. But I just want more for Nmix.
Definitely.
But I don't know if they're ever going to get it from JYP. So at this point, I just kind of
I'll take inoffensive music. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'll
prefer
take
the
this
inoffensive
from
music.
JYP.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one. Number 2.
All right. One good high note doesn't make a song, and one bad note doesn't ruin one.
Yes.
That is true.
We've been saying this for years.
Yes.
One performance is not saved by the high note, and one bum high note shouldn't immediately mean that on a survival show, unless you're doing, again, if the one thing was a bum note, you shouldn't immediately lose if the other person was shit.
Right.
Which is what seems to happen anytime there's a bum note in any survival show.
I know,
It's just the
because
easy way
it's
out.
the Mnet way is also you have to traumatize the person with it multiple times by
Forever.
replaying the clip multiple times in a row.
Yeah.
Till the
Mnet
multiple
way.
years in a row.
Multiple years. We'll never forget it.
No.
I feel like our most notorious way we've talked about that is on Kingdom Legendary War with the
Yes.
Spark performance versus the Love Poem performance, where
Yes.
Spark had one bad note in it,
And was overall such a better,
got
overall constructed performance.
literally a score of 0 for it, and I'm like, okay, that's we're doing too much here.
Mhm.
I'm like, that did not like invalidate the whole rest of the performance that was
and,
fantastic.
Like, this is truly the unpopular opinion. All the people that are in all of them.
All of them.
No. Every single person in Spark is a better singer than the person in Love Poem.
Yeah.
Infinitely, they are better singers overall. Are they less powerful singers?
Yes.
Yes. But are they better singers? Yes.
Yes, that's also unpopular.
You don't need to be a powerful singer. And by that I mean a belter.
Yeah.
To be a good singer.
Oh, definitely.
Because I think the icon singers are fucking phenomenal.
Oh, definitely.
But they're not belters.
Exactly.
But they're phenomenal. We love. They thrive. Alright.
That's the one that gets me the most mad. Is
the
the one example where
like
I keep going back to it because I'm always mad about it.
I will never not be mad about it.
Yep. Alright, the next one here. This is another one. It's not a new opinion from us. CLC and God Seven were not horribly mistreated as groups. God Seven,
I agree.
For sure. Like, God Seven even
A
more
lot
so
of
than CLC.
people keep saying this
It's
too, and I'm just like,
This
where are they
comes
getting
from a
this from?
I think every K-pop fan, by every I mean a lot of them, especially when they get into a group, you hear about the atrocities of K-pop, generally as an industry, much like any other industry, and like you almost get this victim complex of like, well, my it becomes like trauma porn.
I know, like it's a
like,
race
well,
to the bottom. Yeah.
My faves were more mistreated than your faves, and it's like, no. They're all baseline mistreated, yes, but some of them to a higher degree. And CLC and God Seven are more toward the baseline than they are to the extremes.
God Seven especially. God Seven was so successful during their career. It's crazy that people are bringing them down with like BAP and stuff. It's like weird.
Exactly.
Comparing them to like the TS Entertainment situations,
right.
But even with CLC, comparing them to like groups that got like Nugu groups that have no comebacks and no money. It's like, no, CLC was given so many opportunities.
They were just not successful, and that's how it works sometimes. But like, it's not like. They still got songs, though, and comebacks, and I feel like that they got more than what any other company probably would have given them. I mean, just given their popularity.
Right now, just look at Cherry Bullet.
Yeah. Cherry Bullet's an FNC Entertainment, and like, what even is going on with them?
I do still they're like Limelight. Those two groups, I feel like, are in a similar situation to CLC, and they're being so much worse treated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're in
it's more like FNC. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, and it's like also look at like
with the Limelight. What is
Lightsome.
that other group?
Lightsome.
Thank you. Lightsome.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels very like.
And then like look at also Gugudan with and Jellyfish. Like they just disbanded that group and gave like after having like 4 years of nothing.
It just felt very like everyone's trying to win the trauma Olympics.
Yeah,
here.
it's like, it's not bad, it's not wrong to say CLC was an underrated group, like, that's true, but Mistreated is like,
Mistreated is a
I think they gave them very consistent comebacks. They did seem to try to push for them. They tried to change up their concept to get more attention.
Did everything they could, because they let them have a couple of comebacks in each of the styles they tried.
Right.
But just none of them hit.
Exactly.
And like, it's fine. And also, don't come at me with this. If they would have gotten Lovey and Rose, they would have been the biggest thing in the world. No, they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have. You know that. I know that. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
No.
Them doing Lovey and Rose, that is like Lovey and Rose as a song isn't the reason why that song is popular. It's because it was an Eyes One song. Like it's different.
But also that song's extremely well written, but also because of its production, and that wouldn't have been the same production if you give it to CLC.
Yeah.
That would have had to change.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. Oh boy.
Just to say that before anyone thinks that. All right.
Next.
So back to Maria, I think.
Yes.
Back to me. Moving on to next one. Songs should be at least 3 minutes long.
Just saying.
Which they aren't as much these days.
They
are TikTok length. Reasons why I hate TikTok #1.
Minutes.
How they affect the music.
A lot of them are getting a lot of comebacks are getting to 3 minutes.
And
think
3
this was
minutes.
a big-
It's like a lot of them are skirting around the 250 something.
250 something
Yeah.
if you just count, if you take out all the added padding.
Some B-sides are getting down to 2.5 minutes, and then like we
Yeah.
just saw that New Jeans by New Jeans. It's like a minute and a half. Like
Yeah, but like New Jeans by New Jeans is like an intro, so you can't count that against them as like that's not a real song.
Mhm.
Because like this doesn't take into account intros and outros, because those don't need to
Those
be
are
3
always
minutes
like a
long.
minute and a half.
Those are always a minute and a half long. That's fine. I think this was becoming like a big thing. Like we saw with like in Hype, and at one point their title tracks were getting to like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were phenomenal 2.5 minutes. They're
Right.
great 2.5 minutes. But like bump it up a little bit. Give me like 20 more seconds.
Can I
of
get
music.
like a full song length song again, please?
Yeah. I think we're getting more to I think this was like really popular like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think we are getting back to a point where like most songs are 3 minutes. Song structure's coming back. We deviated.
We
for
need
a
the
minute.
song structure back,
But
please.
like that, there's a reason song structure keeps coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because it's good.
It's good and it works.
You don't reinvent the wheel. You don't
Yeah.
need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is fine.
Yep.
All right, we're flying through these. I thought these would be too many, but
I think
ooh, this one's fun.
all of these are things we've said for the most part before.
True.
So.
Yeah, I think
Like,
some
this
of the
is
later
new.
ones we haven't said.
Yeah.
Most groups started making worse music after appearing on Kingdom/Queendom.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That seems the track.
That show
With-
ruins groups.
With like 3 exceptions.
Yeah.
I think the
Mhm.
exceptions are Icon didn't make worse music.
Yep.
I think Road to Kingdom was kind of almost an outlier.
Yeah.
Because that one, not because I think One Us is fine. I think The Boys was still okay until like full on Kingdom happened.
Yeah. Kingdom, I think, was really in
Really
between
ruined
Road to
The
Kingdom and
Boys.
Kingdom. The Boys were fine.
And I don't think it affected very, very that much.
Golden Child was just doing the same
Golden Child
shit.
was Golden
Yeah.
Child. 2/TO1
That
had
was
its own issues.
That's an Mnet Wake 1
That's
problem.
an Mnet problem.
Yeah.
Who else was on that show? Pentagon was losing its mind
Pentagon
no matter
was
what.
losing their goddamn minds always.
Oh yeah. It was like
And I
bad.
think, but I
no
think
one was
Queendom is
I don't know,
really
a lot of people
was a
Pentagon is
turning
the
point.
one outlier of Road to Kingdom where it's like that, yes, that show took down Pentagon for sure. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't the sole reason, but it definitely
It was
was
an
bad for
option.
them. Yeah.
But like Queendom, original Queendom, I think AOA falls apart. Not for
immediately.
music reasons, for other reasons.
Yeah.
Immediately after that show,
Mm-hmm.
Mamamoo takes a little bit of a turn for me after that show.
Yeah, I like Mama
kinda where you
music way less after
Way
Queendom
less.
for some
It's
reason.
kind of where you got more boring.
Yeah.
Oh My Girl we still liked for the most
Oh
part.
My
My
Girl
Girl
is
was good.
fine.
But Oh My Girl is the exception to the rule in most of that show, because Oh My Girl did good performances on that show.
Oh yeah.
Much like how SF9 is an exception,
Yes.
because SF9 also did great performances on that show.
Yes.
Who else was on that show?
Park Bomb.
Park Bomb was never good to begin with.
bad.
Bad.
G-Idol had the Sujin
The
situation.
Sujin situation went downhill a little bit,
and then had
like,
it took
upticked.
they had to take a big hit first before they came
Yeah.
back.
And then who else was there?
Who else was
Was anyone
on
else there?
Queendom?
Lovelies.
Lovely's
was fine.
disbanded like a year later. They had one more song and then disbanded.
One more song
yeah.
and then disbanded. So like that's not great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. Yeah. And then Kingdom is really where you see it, because Stray Kids was bad but got worse.
Yep.
The Boys fell apart.
Yep.
B2B really fell apart, because I think that's where you got some weird internal conflicts, because half of them didn't want to be there.
Yep.
SF9 was fine. I think Icon was fine, but both of them didn't really seem to care.
Yeah, they were
Like
they
SF9 wanted to do good performances.
SF9 and Icon also came in 5th and 6th place on the show, so
Yeah.
maybe the higher you placed on Kingdom, the worse
you did.
worst outcome you had.
Fair enough, because then you see what's its
Because it's the
ATs
boys,
went to shit.
B2B, yeah, ATs really went to shit.
Yeah.
like everybody went, and then
The
Like,
boys
I don't
really
know,
went to
yeah.
shit. Yeah. Queendom,
and then on Queendom, Luna disbanded.
Luna, whatever
after that.
happened to Luna.
WJSN is in shambles.
Yep.
Who else? VV's is not good.
Yep.
Baby's released a single this
Brave
year that I
Girls
actually
left.
liked, but they're
Brave
they're
Girls,
not
oh yeah, Brave
excelling.
Girls
Brave Girls
fell
fell apart
pretty
again.
soon after.
Yeah.
And Hyolan
is
was
just
thriving
around,
before
yeah.
and will thrive forever.
Yep.
Hyolan, an independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just felt very, like, there was so much going on that show. It's like, what do we do?
I feel like I'm missing
show
someone
really-
from Queendom too.
Who are we missing from... Kepler!
Kepler's
Kepler,
gonna
that's right.
disband this year, I
Kepler's gonna
think.
disband
When
real
are
soon.
they?
Like, next year?
I think
Oh.
it might
The
be
end of
this.
this
It
year?
might be this year.
It might be the end of this year.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kepler disbandment. They July of this year is when they're supposed to
Damn, real
disband.
soon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I was reading in
Yes.
2024. I was like, oh, that's another year. And I'm like, no, that's this year. We're in the
That's
year
right
2024.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, it was just a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Too much.
And now Queendom Puzzle and whatever the fuck build-up is happening.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to count build up, but it was so clearly given to us as a replacement for Kingdom Puzzle, and I'm mad about
Because
it.
I don't know why we can't get more, like, why we can't get Kingdom Puzzle.
I know, right?
I would actually be excited for Kingdom Puzzle.
It's so annoying.
Hmm.
Unless Hui's on it.
Oh yeah, keep Hui off of that.
Alright.
Alright. Next.
Next.
JYP Entertainment should stop making bands.
Please.
Please.
God,
For the love of
please.
God, you gotta give up
For
on
love
the
of
band.
God.
It
Gotta
hasn't
stop.
worked,
And
it's
before
done
people
twice.
come say, no, Extraordinary Heroes is so amazing. I want them to tell me to get a haircut all the time. I'm sorry. They sound like shit. I'm sorry, dude.
And it's like half of the JYP strategy of building a band is to just like look at their trainees and pick them, like their idol
And just
trainees,
pick a
and like
couple.
hey, you're gonna be in a band instead of an idol group like you've been here training for.
Go.
Like,
And
hello,
he's done it twice, and it's
twice
worked neither time.
now. If
Because
anything,
there's-
it worked. It worked less good the second time too. So
Oh,
it's like,
absolutely. Because it's also that, like, you have to think that, take FNC, who does bands as well. Their bands are, I think, in, like, equivalent, like, a little less popular than their idol groups, but enough of an equivalent popularity that you think that this is the company, right?
right.
They're within the culture.
They're a band company.
Look at JYP and look at the band's popularity compared to the idol groups. You'd think it would be, like, less so, but not so much less so that no one gives a shit.
Right. It's
You know?
they don't know how to. I feel like JYP is too big of a company to know how to navigate the band scene. Whereas FNC has been doing it for so long, they know how to make
And
an
they
idol band
made
an idol
their
band,
brand.
and also keep them in like the indie band type scene if they need to be. Like
Mhm.
they know how to handle that much more. JYP is too big of a company to know what to do with a band.
Mhm.
They're bad at it. They need to stop. Gotta give up on bands.
Yeah. Alright. It
Next.
just feels like a bad idea. It feels
It's
like
bad.
nothing is... He's obsessed with it, much like how SM's
He
obsessed
is.
with the graduation system,
Yeah.
you know?
I know.
Alright. Maria?
All right, next one
Oh, we're back.
is. Oh, why is the button not working? There we go. Okay, FSF9 should have won Kingdom Legendary War. Also, I love those outfits, by the way. Love
Great
the
outfits
red.
for them.
Love the outfit.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's the thing. We have a lot of Kingdom opinions
We
because
do.
we spent a lot of time thinking about
I
that
spent
show,
a
and it will
lot.
forever
I
haunt
spent
us.
too much time of my life thinking about this show specifically, so
It will haunt us till we die.
it will.
We'll be on our deathbed and we'll be thinking about it.
I know.
But no, that they should have won.
They should
They
have
were
won.
The best group on that show.
They were the best, and and it's like they also won several of the rounds in terms of how, like, they voted.
And
They
they
won the
should have
second
won-
and the 3B. I'm pretty sure they won both of those rounds based off of
they
group
won
voting.
both of those, and they should have won at least two of that like 3-part round.
I know.
They should. I will give them Bum Note Spark
Yeah.
I'll give it to them.
Right.
That love poem wins.
Sure.
There's no reason that dance performance.
There's no way
and
in hell that dance
rap
performance
should not have won.
There's no way in hell that dance performance loses to a bad cover of Wolf, and also
And there's absolutely
the
no reason
terrible
that
shit that Full Dash
to
loses. Are you
Colors?
kidding me?
Are you shitting me right now? No, absolutely not.
insane.
There's no reason
It's insane.
that needed to happen.
Mhm.
Absolute insanity. We hate.
We hate it. Do not enjoy that. Not
And
a
then
fan.
by far they had the best original song
Absolutely.
with Believer.
Yes. But
They
they
should've
were
won,
the least
but it
popular
was-
group on that show, so they didn't win. So that's how it.
And then
that's how it goes.
and they lost
And they
badly.
lose.
And then truly second place should have gone to Icon
Yes.
by a mile.
We should have reversed the placing of
Yeah.
Kingdom Legendary War. Is really what the
the
opinion
table should
is.
have really just like 180.
Let's
and
just
we would've
flip it.
been-
Yeah.
Because honestly, who else goes down there? Like B2B's down there, and I think
B2B
of the other
would be
side,
third. Yeah,
B2B
I think.
Yeah, honestly thinking about like who's third place, it might be
And then
B2B.
it would be
Yeah.
the boys,
The
and
boys,
then
and then it would
ATs,
be
and then
ATs,
Stray
and then it would
Kids.
be Stray Kids.
That's
and I'm like,
that's
yeah,
the order. That's
yeah,
the
I'm like, yes,
correct order.
Maybe they just read the results wrong and they're too embarrassed.
Maybe, yeah.
That's the new conspiracy theory.
It's not at all.
Absolutely not. That's not ours. All right. This one's another one of our
Oh boy.
Roman
Another
empires.
one.
Yep.
Roman Empire.
There's too many boy group debuts.
There's too many. Like,
There's
as much
so
as
many.
we love boy groups,
This year, I
there's
feel
too
like,
many.
yeah. There's,
Way too
in
many.
the past year, yeah.
Last year?
Last
year was a
so
lot.
many.
30 boy
It's-
groups last year?
it's
Like, it's too many.
Overwhelming.
Too many
It's
boy
so
groups.
overwhelming that I'm like, where do we put them?
I know.
Like, where do I put them in my brain?
It's insane. And Boys Planet had a lot to do with it, sure. But they were already, like,
But even
15
then,
four groups before Boys Planet groups started
here's the thing,
debuting.
even
so
before, if you take out all the Boys Planet groups, that still leaves us with, what, 25
20,
boy groups?
at least 20 something boy groups that have
That's
nothing
so
to do with Boys
many.
Planet. Yeah.
And we're set, like, we're, 3 months in, the beginning of the 3rd month, we're 2 months in,
Yeah.
technically, and we're already at, what, 5-ish?
We got like 4 debuts in January. Like, it was crazy.
Exactly. Where are we gonna put them all?
There's truly becoming like there's too many. It's like if you thought the industry was saturated before, it's really getting
I
to
feel
be
like
too
we're-
much.
I
Right?
I'm
feel
wondering
like
in
some
comparison
sort of
to how many
K-pop
girl groups there are
economic bubble.
debuting. Do you feel like it's more than girl
Definitely
groups at the
more.
moment?
Way
There's
Okay.
definitely
more.
more boys.
Yeah.
The thing is with the girl groups is there's a lot of super new girl groups that don't make any waves.
Yeah.
That get like 3,000 views.
Right.
Is what we're
But
talking
because
about, that
boy
level.
groups tend to make better physical sales as a whole,
Yes.
they like they're a little bit more
companies-
relevant that way.
Here's the thing. I feel like companies tend to be able to debut and maintain more boy groups. Like, for example, just look at like your FNC.
Mhm.
Just look at your SM Entertainment. The girl groups they have is the Shambles of Girls' Generation and Red Velvet and now aespa,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to their boy groups, which is still TVXQ, still Super Junior, still Shiny,
Yeah.
still EXO, still NCT. Like, you're able to maintain more.
Yeah.
And so you're just, it's so many. You
It's
still
so
gotta think
many.
about the boy groups from 2005. How am I gonna think about the boy groups of 2025?
Right.
It's so many.
It's insane. There's too many boy groups, not enough. It's like not enough groups are disbanding that are groups are coming into the industry.
Yeah.
Like there's an
like
imbalance
we're
and
in
there's
some
too many.
sort of- We're in some sort of a K-pop economic bubble.
Right.
The bubble's gonna burst.
It will at some
Where do
point.
I put money on that so I can make money when the
Yeah,
K-pop
right?
market
When the
crashes?
K-pop boy group market crashes.
That's where I need to spend my money.
Yep.
The K-pop boy group market crash.
God.
God. Who's here for 2008 recession jokes?
Oh god.
Ugh.
All right. This
Next one.
one just is a personal thing.
Oh, it is for sure.
Everyone has
I wrote
that
this.
one K-pop
Yeah.
Everyone has that one K-pop scandal that pissed them off.
Yep.
This was ours.
Yep.
This severely pissed me off. I wanted to throw a table so badly at something. God.
All right. So the next one is Garam deserves better. Y'all suck.
It's
Which is
true.
correct.
It's true. Everything about that situation
It's
pissed
just
me
the
off. And
correct
part
opinion.
the part that mainly pissed me off was that people talk about how companies give up on their artists too quickly.
Yes.
They throw them out. And
Yes.
then the minute a company is like, no, she's fine. We did the research. She's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone
we're
is
up in
like, no,
arms.
absolutely not.
Like, no, kick her out. If the next time a kid gets kicked, when that Rise kid all got kicked out for having a girlfriend, your
Yep.
fault.
Your fault.
Your fault.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Just saying.
How dare you have a girlfriend? Holy shit.
I'm just saying that, like, companies can't defend shit anymore because, well, we tried.
They tried.
And you didn't want it.
You can't say they didn't try because they're trying, but it's the fandom is really the fandom as a whole can't agree on what it wants. Like,
No.
Yeah.
The people are just having a bad time. This was just a personal one.
yep,
We miss Scarum.
it's unfortunate.
Alright. I think
Yeah.
this was the perfect one for Marie to read.
Yes.
Oh, this is my big gripe. Holy shit. Because I see this all the time. Rapping fast does not make you a good rapper, period. Because every single fucking time... Oh, okay, I get heated. But like
there are
every single
people that make
time when
compilation
people say
videos.
comments about K-pop rappers, first of all, if you want some
They're
good
fast.
rappers, there's a lot of great rappers outside the idol sphere you should check out, frankly, from Korea. But that's besides the point. This is about the idol rappers, of course. Just because you rap fast doesn't mean you're good. I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. Like, why? See, they're so fucking talented. They can say the words really fucking quick. Yes, Stray Kids. Yeah, looking at you. Everyone says that about them. I'm just like, oh, but other people say they're really good. I'm just like, I mean, sure, they can have that opinion. That's fair. I disagree politely, but that's besides the point. Like,
But
no. Because
being a
you
good
need
rapper
to
should not
enunciate. It's
go down
more of like
to
word writing.
Can't
It's
bubble
about
fast.
in the execution of it. It's not always rapping fast because rappers in anywhere in the world have different flavors to them. Some sound great rapping fast. Others sound better when they're more melodic. Others sound better when it's more like a spoken word-esque poetry type situation. It really depends. But rapping fast is not a trait that everyone must have to be a good rapper in general, period. A lot of it's also what type of lyrics you have, the delivery, there's many different factors to it. Rapping fast is, and I say rapping fast because that tends to be the pattern I see when people say, these are the best idol rappers. What's the common trait? Oh, look, they rap freaking fast. Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, that's, okay. Yeah, I got heated, but I mean, it's just frustrating because I see that. I'm just like, just because they rap fast doesn't mean shit that they're good.
It's not a quality
It's not a quality
of
of
good rapping.
rapper.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not the only
it's
quality
not
of good
exclusive
rapping.
It's just
Well,
some
yeah.
spice. You have to be a good rapper, and then this is like the flavor added later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy,
Mhm.
this one's a good one. People need to stop demanding and expecting groups to leave their company as an entire group and re-sign to a different company.
Yeah, because at the end of the
doesn't
day,
happen that often.
It doesn't.
and also
everyone wants every group to do it because they were people said that the year after Blackpink debuted that they should all collectively bargain to leave together. And
that's
I'm
not
like,
how that
that's
works.
It
And on
happened.
top of that,
this happened.
By the time contracts ends, a lot of those individuals in the group might want to do their own
But
thing.
even then,
This happens far less than people realize because it has happened to a couple of major groups. Does not mean that this needs to become the expectation for all groups.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and also you
It's
can't
insane.
say that 2 years after the group debuts.
nope.
You also can't say that if it's like, well, in a couple of years when they disband, and I'm like, great, when they disband, they're all gonna want to do their own thing.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like if they're disbanding, there's a reason for it. Like,
Exactly. It just feels very like
it's very entitled.
entitlement. It's
There's
all
a lot of
entitlement.
entitlement in the K-pop community, and this is I feel like one of the big ones. It's
Oh, absolutely.
it's annoying.
They want to trade them like they're sports players. They want to
Yes.
have a K-pop trade.
I hate to say it, there's also
it's
the
like,
whole
no.
legal copyright strikes over names, so it's kind
Well,
of
yeah, they
hard
would-
legally,
but
assuming the company
collectively-
doesn't,
Well, yeah, but
assuming the company's on
collectively, I
it.
think they want them to pull a highlight if they can't
Yeah.
get the name.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just continue to bash the company forever about, well, you didn't give them the name. I'm like, well, they have every legal right not to.
Right. It's
That's
like
how business
a
works.
couple,
That's how
like-
capitalism works.
because a couple of CEOs are not like complete dirt bags and have been nice about it.
And
also some people have just been rich enough to buy it, I'm assuming, as well.
Too.
So
that's more the Shinhwa. Well, I wouldn't say Shinhwa was rich enough, but that's what essentially Shinhwa did. They had to legally fight for the
I have a
name.
feeling Icon might have had to buy theirs from YG.
I don't think YG gave it to them. I bet you it was a stipulation of them signing with 143 that 143
would figure it out. Yeah,
I think that might have been how they got into that company.
Mm-hmm.
But no, thinking about it logically is also, I don't think that it's not going to be the result that the fans want. Because look at the groups that it has happened for. Take out Shinhwa, because that was so long ago. It almost it's a different industry, right?
Right.
The major groups people are talking about are Highlight, God Seven, and I guess now Infinite.
Infinite and God Seven got their names handed to them as a gift.
Like, yeah.
And okay, now Icon. Icon got it as stipulation for signing with another company, and they've put out one comeback in a year and a half. God Seven has put out one comeback over the last 2-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight had a whole other issue, but they made a whole company.
Highlight had to change their names and fight a legal battle that they lost,
that they lost.
Yeah.
But and they basically gave themselves a name of their last EP as Beast.
Yep.
So.
Yes. But here's the thing. A lot of people expect them to all leave, and it's going to go back to normal, and they're going to put out a comeback a year. None of those groups have put out a comeback a year.
Nope.
They slow down the production, and they just do it as, like, a side hustle. God only knows what's going to happen with Icon. That's just, like, a separate story. Yeah. But realistically...
Well, Icon's hitting military enlistment, too, so that's gonna...
Icon's hitting military enlistment. But, like, looking at it, it feels like they want... What they want, no one has gotten. Like, that's not a thing. So, I don't know. They're always going to be disappointed, even if they get what they want, that they all leave and sign with a different company.
Yeah, people just need to stop expecting and demanding that from groups as a whole.
Speaking of people demanding things.
Yep. People need to stop demanding temporary project groups extend their contracts or become permanent and then getting upset when they don't.
Stop making fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
It's like, you have to understand. We go through this
point of these shows,
every goddamn year.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to understand what you're getting into when you watch a survival show like this.
The only one
like,
it's ever made sense for is IOI. Because it was new and shiny, and then people got a little mad, and then we all moved on.
Right.
101 it didn't make sense with. 101... IZ*ONE especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X1 doesn't even matter. We don't ignore that.
People are already expecting it from ZB1 and Kepler.
People are already thinking about it with Kepler. It's like, why?
It's like, you keep saying the same shit every time and it's not going to happen. They try to renegotiate contract lengths every time, and the companies are greedy because they want their trainees back who they can then debut and make their own money off of them.
And to be honest, they lost that trainee for 2 years.
Yeah.
And they're the one that spent all the money to train them. Yeah, they kind of want a result on their investment.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine CJ E&M is getting them a good deal on these kids while they're in the group.
I know. It's like, you cannot watch a survival show where the intent of the survival show is to make a temporary group and then be upset when they disband. Like, you can't. Like, you have to understand, like, this is literally the point of the show you're watching.
Yeah.
Like,
they made it
you
temporary.
Cannot keep demanding.
Because if it was permanent, there was no way none of these companies would send trainees over for this goddamn show. That's how that works.
When you went to watch the show, you entered into, like, they didn't lie to you.
Right.
This wasn't a surprise announcement. You got exactly what you paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a temporary group.
Yep.
That's it.
The only one where you were allowed to be mad is Mix 9 when the group didn't debut at all. Because YG sucks.
Exactly.
But you could be upset then, but...
And you can kind of be upset about X1 because they didn't even go
that wasn't their fault.
That wasn't their fault. That's all you can be upset about. And I don't think people are that upset about that.
Nope.
People are still upset about the 101 disbandment, and I'm like, move on.
We gotta move on. It's been so long, and people are already getting upset about ZB1, and I'm like, listen, you can't go into the show and expect any type of a different outcome than what has happened in the past. Like, please.
Facts. Maria?
Yeah.
Speaking of facts.
Ooh. Y'all be sexualizing T-boys too much, and that needs to be called out, which conveniently we made an episode on about that. kind
Yeah.
of.
We'd have.
So, yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, fair is fair. If we are to have gender equality, if we're talking so much about the sexualization of younger teen girls, then we gotta talk about it for the boys
If people are
too.
up in arms about the Lee Seraphim comeback, sure. We need to be up in arms about everything that happened with Eugen.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other.
No, and also
Just saying.
whatever the situation is with Fantasy Boys, that's also
Whatever
that's
is.
even a worse situation than what
It
Eugen is. And Eugen's not a good situation
And
either.
Eugen's not a great situation, nor is anything, I mean, I put it in the thing, nor is anything that happened with NCT Dream.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just saying.
Nope.
I'm just saying that, like, y'all think that these, like, 25-year-old women need to be protected from, you know, anyone looking in their direction, but a 14-year-old boy up for grabs sometimes.
It
just
everything
feels very-
yeah. I feel like
Everyone should be protected.
we gotta
equally.
put a hard ban on anyone under like 16 being on a survival show. Is really
We really do.
It's like, because even if there's one, there's only got to be one 15-year-old or younger, and South Korea will put them in the group because they
Yeah.
love to do
Will.
that.
And the thing is, like, there's multiple, so you gotta pick whichever one's, like, the least of, the best of the poison.
I know, it's like, it happens without fail every single time.
Because, like, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't think, like, putting a hard ban on, like, anyone debuting,
Right.
but I think there needs to be a hard ban
For
on
Survivor Show specifically, because
contestant age.
they feel like an entirely more stressful experience, especially
Yeah,
when you're in the
infinitely
public
so.
eye and being voted for. It's like, I feel like we gotta put like a hard age limit on that. Like, it's gotta
absolutely.
be stopped in some way.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Alright. Oh. This one's my favorite.
Yes.
The K-pop community craves negativity.
They do.
They do.
Because we have the proof of it.
We have
We
all
make
the proof.
so many videos.
Negative videos.
Negative.
People go into our negative videos with negative titles.
Yes.
The titles are negative. You
Worst
cannot tell
songs
us
of all
the worst
time.
K-pop songs of all time.
Worst songs of this
and
year.
you're expecting cupcakes and rainbows?
Like, you go in there and you're mad when a song is on there? What
You're mad?
what did you expect on this
What did
video?
you
Are you
What's gonna
going to
happen on
get
there?
yourself triggered? Or are you just curious?
just
They're
saying,
looking to be mad. They're looking to be mad, and they're looking for
Yeah.
people to be mad at.
But they don't watch our best video of all
Nope.
time.
Nope.
Because
they
our worst
don't.
videos have... So the one specifically of our, like, clip video that's our worst of all time to our best of all time has 7 times the views.
Yeah.
Every single one of our negative videos, whether that's, like, a worst of the year compared to a best of the year, has double the views.
Yeah.
We get so
The
much more
people
viewership on our
crave
worst.
the negativity.
The people crave the negativity because no one will give you because, like,
Well, most
sure,
K-pop
we
fans
hyperbolic-
and our most K-pop fans, and definitely people who are outside of K-pop, afraid of K-pop fans. We
Absolutely
being K-pop
terrified.
fans, not afraid of K-pop fans.
We're not.
There's nothing they can say to me that would affect me
No.
anymore.
We read negative comments and we laugh at them.
fun.
It's
If you
funny
want to know what we
because
do with
it's
them,
just
we
much
read
fun.
them and
It's
we laugh
very
at them.
delusional.
We have a great
it's literally
time,
just
yes.
music, y'all.
Like,
It's a great time.
you're so
But
mad
at
and
the
for what?
same time, everyone wants the K-pop community to be this fun, like, everyone says they want K-pop to be a fun, uplifting community aspect. Why do our worst videos get more views if that's what you want the
Yeah.
community to
I
be?
know.
And also,
Why
frankly,
do
I
we
don't
get
care
the
if it
views?
is because almost
I don't
every
care.
fandom
But I'm just saying,
community
if you
out there
want-
has negative aspects
Exactly.
to it these
But what I'm
days, so it
saying is
really
if you
doesn't
want
matter.
things to be uplifting.
Yeah.
I think the undercurrent is no one will admit that they want the negativity. Because I love looking at, like, well, people love this thing. But, like, what do people think about, like, the worst things? Even if I agree or disagree, it's just good to see, I don't know, it's stuff that doesn't matter.
I know.
My opinion on fucking Momoland does not matter, nor should it matter to you.
It shouldn't.
Sometimes you just need to, like, listen to people, like, talk about things they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time.
Yep.
And
yep.
if that will upset you, why are you watching?
I know.
Kayla?
Alright. The men in K-pop are still making better music than the women.
I think
just-
that should be the motto of this podcast.
That's one of our other motto of the podcast.
For me, it's more so it depends
The men-
situation, but
I'm not saying the girls ain't doing, but they ain't doing it.
Like the men.
Like the men. The boys out here, the boys, the gender, not the group.
Yes.
The
The boys,
I have
not
to
the boys
clarify.
trademarked.
Good
Not the boys
distinction to
Not the
make.
trademarked.
boys TM. The boys the gender. Thriving. Look at what you have. We got 30 K-pop boy group debuts, and like 27 of them were great.
I know.
Like, you got boys in all the spheres. K-J-pop is mostly dominated by men in terms of sheer quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
I don't know what else to tell you, man.
They're making great music, and they will continue to
The
make
men are
great
thriving.
music. Hell yeah.
Some of the women are thriving, and those women are thriving.
Right.
But there's
Mhm.
less of them.
Definitely lots of them.
And it's like always the same, it's always the same women.
Yeah.
The men spread around the love a little bit more, because it's like more men are thriving.
Right.
Maria?
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about this one before.
Oh, yeah.
There are too many pre-release, pre-debut songs these days. Yeah, there's like a lot of build-up, but
We
not
gotta
enough
stop.
to like get to the point. You know?
Promotions
Not
are
just
so
that, but
goddamn
it's
long
just
now.
confusing.
It's
Yeah.
confusing and
Because
it's
I don't-
useless, and I don't
It's giving
like it.
Japanese
At some point, I'm like-
promotions, honestly.
It is. It is giving
It
very
is.
Japanese promotions.
Which,
But
like,
at least with the
it depends if
Japanese
you're used to
promotions,
that
you
and you
get
don't mind that,
one-
sure, but yeah.
No, but
No,
for
the
most
thing.
part,
See, the thing is we're used to it now that we follow JO1 and KJ-pop. I still don't like it for K-pop.
But here's the thing. I think there's a difference between the J-pop and the K-pop, because in the K-pop, I feel like what you're doing is like 1 week and then 2 weeks later and then 2 weeks later. In J-pop, I feel like you do one to announce that the album's coming.
Yeah.
And then you get like a month build up, and then you get the second one, and then slowly you get all the B-sides.
Well, what
As
J-pop
opposed
tends
to
to
K-pop,
do,
where I feel like I have like 5 title tracks.
what
then I
J-pop
have the
tends
whole-
to do is they release the title track like a month before the actual album
Actual
comes
album.
out. Yeah.
And then they release something else.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
release the album.
And then they release something like a B-side or a secondary track around the album release.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, to like remind you that it's happening.
So it's different.
It's a different kind of vibe, because like I clearly know the title track in a what's it called,
In a
J-pop
J-pop
release.
release, yeah.
I don't clearly know the title track anymore, and I think the person that's mainly the culprit here is JYP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone else is doing it a little bit differently. JYP is confusing the shit out of everybody.
Oh yeah, always.
Because no one knows what the title track is anymore. I genuinely thought we had already had that twice title track. Like, when did that a month ago?
It was
Whenever
a
we
long.
got I
it was
Got
a long
You.
time ago. Yeah.
When we got I Got You, I was
Mhm.
like, oh, it's the title track. Cool. Let's move on with my life. And then we got, and I was like, that's a weird title track for twice, but like, maybe they're going more, more, you know, chillin' vibes.
Right.
And then I just get
Perhaps.
one spark one day, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
What is this? Is this a B-side? And then I listen to it, and it's like, oh no, this is the title track.
Yep.
Mm.
This is an actual title track. Traditional. I don't know. It just felt very, what's happening, JYP?
I know.
At least figure out a schedule that makes sense.
Oh, here we go.
24K were ahead of their time.
We've said it before.
Period.
Still true.
Yeah.
No
They were
notes.
making music ahead
Pretty
of their
much.
time, and they were not appreciated when they were around.
the noise music. Look, most again, I'll say this. You want to know where K-pop's going? Listen to new good boy groups.
Yep.
They
Mhm.
weirdly know it.
They
They
know.
know what's happening.
They're a couple years
We had-
early, but they know.
Think about this. We had a bunch of chill shit like 2 years ago with the new good boy groups.
Hmm.
Now look at the chill shit.
Someone's got to do a study on that, on the new good boy groups and now while they predict current K-pop trends.
You want us to bring our statistics back?
I don't
Our
even
statistics
know if
knowledge?
it's something that you can really statistically track.
I don't
just
know.
like a
Yeah,
vibes,
I don't know
just
if
a
you
vibe
can,
check,
but-
really.
There's gotta be vibe check
Just a
it.
vibe check it.
We should vibe check it. It's
Yeah.
like, what are the new groups, and then what are the top 10 K-pop songs of the year?
Right,
And
right.
see how they correlate.
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, with enough of like a 3-year delay.
Right, right.
I think it works.
That would be
But you know, 24K
24K ahead of their time.
ahead of their time.
Exactly.
Will always have a place in our hearts and in
yes, yes.
the pantheon of the knee-slapping K-pop podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. We would rather have a group just disband rather than them continuing to release mini comebacks with a fraction of the members. Because it's like, what's the point? Like,
What is the
really, what
point?
are we still doing here?
Because, like, the music is so inherently different than what the whole group was releasing. And I'm
It's
not
worse.
talking, like,
It's worse
when-
music.
I'm not talking when, like, one member leaves. I'm talking when, like, you were 7 people and now you're 3.
Vix, I'm looking at you.
Vix, I'm looking at you. You were
Yeah.
6 people, and now you're 3 of you, and
Mhm.
you're making weird pseudo-ballads.
Yeah.
Because you have none of your interesting members left.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Leo and Ken.
Hmm.
Less
I
sorry
know.
for you, Hyuk.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's really... What's the point?
I don't know.
What are we doing
Why?
still?
Just put us all out of our misery.
Yeah.
Do your solo stuff, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Go become a Twitch streamer. I don't know.
Honestly.
It just feels very, why am I here?
Very pointless when they're just making worse music.
Ooh.
Next one's spicy, and I have a
Next
lot
one's
to say about it.
spicy, And it might actually be, like, the whole reason we made this.
Yes, yes.
Boy group fans have at minimum a baseline knowledge of popular girl groups, but girl group stands refuse to acknowledge the existence of boy groups. I don't know what this if this
Facts.
applies to someone who's pretty 50-50,
Facts.
but
Well, if you're 50-50, you
I
have
don't
a
know.
baseline knowledge of both. I'm saying
Yeah.
people that self-proclaim themselves as girl group stans.
mhm.
That self-proclaim themselves as girl group
No
stans. but are
clue
like, I
what's
don't hate
going
boy
on with
groups.
boy groups.
They don't have
No idea.
They know BTS and 17. And then the layer deeper of, like, your Boy Next Door, your P1
No, I would say
your
those
SF9,
groups.
your
No,
Pentagon.
no
Who?
clue. No clue who any
no
of those are.
idea.
I know there are girl group stands. No idea who ZB1 even is. No idea who
Is.
Rise is. No idea
And-
who any of
and
the
here's the
big new boy groups from last year are at all. No clue.
And here's the thing, all those girl group fans, big fans of Kepler, and I'm like, that's just the next season of the show you watch.
It's insane that you can know Kepler and not know ZB1 even exists. Like insane.
Oh
and
yeah.
like, the thing is, when you're a boy group stan, I don't think I've met a boy group stan that's just like, well, yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
any
no
idea
idea who
Ive
Ive is or anything. It's like, yes,
New Jeans, never heard of them.
Right.
Who are they? They new?
yeah. A boy
Like, they
group
just-
stands like you know the girl groups and the popular girl groups and what they're doing. It's like that's just because you're just
And, like,
consuming
You
K-pop.
don't know members.
yeah.
You don't know members, and you might not enjoy it.
But you've at least heard
exist
of
in
you've
that
at least heard
universe.
of them. I mean, bare
Exactly.
minimum, you've heard of them. Maybe you listen to them
And,
or you
maybe
like their
don't
music.
realize,
Like,
you know, maybe if you're like really into the boy groups, you don't realize, like, you know, Ive is a branch group of IZ*ONE.
right,
Sure, fine. Don't get into specifics, but like you've heard of them.
right,
You know who. You know Lee Seraphim.
right.
It's like you can't be that. It just I feel like a level of like I don't need to know
Right.
that girl group stands have.
Yeah.
And that have so, like, insulated themselves because there's so much of K-pop that is so girl group specific that you don't ever need to be even encountered with a boy.
And
Period.
there's a lot of girl group fans who said they just won't even touch boy group music because it's too noisy. And I'm like, that's not recent boy group
And
music
then-
at all. And I'm like, that
and
is what boy
also-
group music used to sound like. It's not what it sounds like now. And because you think that's what boy group music sounds like, you just won't even listen to anything else. And
Yeah.
that's
At the
not
same
even what it
time,
sounds
it's
like
also-
anymore.
And at the same time, it's also not what all boy group music ever sounded like. 'Cause
No.
there was always a lot of boy groups not doing noise.
Yeah,
True.
Even a lot of popular boy groups not doing noise.
I know. It's insane.
It feels like
It
there's
could
a
just also
cop-out
be
in
though a preference of like preferring
But here's
woman
the thing,
singing than
I
guy
have
singing.
a preference.
You never know.
I have a preference, but that doesn't mean that I'm like
I'm never gonna listen
It
to
almost
girl
feels
group
like
music.
ignorance.
Like I listen to girl
like,
group music if
willful
I like it.
ignorance
I
about
listen
an
to
Yeah.
it.
entire other part
Yeah,
of
it is. It's purposeful is the thing. It's a
and, like, a
purposeful
lot of
like,
times-
refusing to acknowledge boy groups exist.
And at the same time, it almost feels like the only time it's mentioned is like to be like, oh, well, that group you like, I've never heard of them.
Yeah,
Like, it almost feels like a pride thing. It's
I
like,
know.
That doesn't make you special.
doesn't
It
make you
kinda makes
better
you
in
sound
any type of
ignorant.
way. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It just feels
It's
like
annoying.
willful ignorance masked as pride.
yeah, it's very annoying, and I've noticed it's very common. So,
It just feels like a weird thing
mhm.
that I don't know. I'm like, why would you want to do that to
I know.
yourself?
I don't know.
And it's like, I get if you like girl groups, sure, that's
you
fine.
enjoy girl groups, sure, but I don't know if I'm just someone that's like curious about things where I'm just like, why wouldn't you like to have a baseline knowledge about what else is happening in a community that you seem to think you're a part of?
Right. It's
like, you don't.
I'm not asking you to
know
even
the names
listen
of
to
every
them.
member of
I'm asking you to
8turn.
know that they exist.
Exactly.
Like, I've heard of them once before, which
Like,
is not hard at all.
Look,
If you're
I'm not
on
asking
TikTok,
anybody
it's
to
not
know
hard.
every member of 8turn.
Yeah.
I'm not even asking you to know who 8turn is.
Right.
But maybe you should know who Rise is.
Right.
Maybe you should know that, like, NCT, one of the biggest boy groups, is having another unit.
Right.
Maybe. Just saying. Alright.
It's annoying.
Last one. You should not feel entitled to having English subtitles on every piece of variety content an idol is in.
Yeah.
This used to be a really big thing when idols would do V-Lives.
Yeah.
That's true.
And also used to be a really big thing
when V-Live
back
existed,
in my
of course.
day as a K-pop drama,
Yeah.
when everything used to be fan subtitled.
Yes.
That's true.
And it used to take weeks.
Yes.
And sometimes there would be a lot more nuances to certain
like, a lot of
phrases in
times-
Korean they would
and also,
explain.
A lot of times, you just wouldn't get it.
Yep.
They'd get halfway through and then they'd be like, I
and
got
that
busy.
was it, yeah.
And you had half an episode. Godspeed. And then everything got subtitled.
Yeah.
And then you'd have V-Lives where people are like, speak English, and it's like, no,
no?
they're in their hotel
like,
room.
how about no?
Leave them alone.
This is another
Period.
thing with, it's just like, that's just the entitlement in the K-pop community. It's
Yeah.
like, you have to
Yeah.
understand that these are mainly Korean-speaking people making content for South Korea. Like, if you don't have English subtitles immediately, you can't start yelling about it. Like, you're not entitled to English
Especially
subtitles
when
on
it is a
anything in the
piece
first
of-
place. Like, calm
Especially
down.
when it's, like, not something that airs on television or is made by the company. When it's, like,
Right.
a fucking dorm room vlog.
right.
Let them be.
Or if, like,
Mhm.
there's an Instagram live or something and someone has
Yeah.
subtitled it, like, get over yourself. Like, you are not entitled to that immediately.
You're also, like, no offense, you don't need to watch every piece of media that these people make.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, like, they want to keep in touch, but, like, V-Lives are meant to be like, hey, are you up? Come watch.
Right.
Exactly.
You don't need to watch the whole thing the day after.
Right.
It's fine.
It's fine. Like, you will be okay.
Like, it's fine, and just, like, I feel like let them be because also, you don't know how comfortable they are with the English language. I don't care if they grew up in the States.
Right.
And, like, lived here for 15 years.
If they don't want to speak in
Sometimes they
English,
wanna
they
speak
don't
Korean.
have to. Yeah.
You should not feel entitled to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the big thing I think K-pop fans need to remember first and foremost, at the end of the day, the main audience is Korean. That's the goal. The main
At
audience
some
will be Korean. That's who they're mainly trying to get.
And, like, at
Everything
some
else is a
point-
bonus.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And, like, even if, like, now K-pop is so international, maybe their main audience is an international fan base, at the end of the day, they are people that deserve respect, and, like, if they don't feel comfortable speaking in English at that moment, respect it. The same way that, like, you shouldn't feel like, oh, they have to do a live, like, thing. It's like, no, if they don't want to, they don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
They
I always
are
see
people
comments
that
in
are
these
doing
lives too.
extra
Everyone's
stuff.
just like, say something in English, speak Spanish.
Oh my god, leave
it's
him
like,
alone.
shut up.
Leave him alone, please.
And that's why I want to say, like, I want to reach across my stream and just bitch slap some people. Just like, shut up. I'm sorry, it's not my fault you chose to follow a group that speaks a totally different language you don't really understand. Sorry.
Right.
But that's, like, shocker.
Because
like,
we've talked about this with following KJ-pop and us just not being able to understand like a lot of updates about groups because it's
Yeah.
majorly in Japanese and they're not something that has like major like
Enough
subtitle
of a fan
outlets.
community,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
we're
still
not
being
out
a
here
mainly
like
fan
bitching
translator.
about it and saying how they need to give us updates in English. It's like, no, we recognize that that's in a language we do not speak, and that just means we're not going to know every single update that's going on
Exactly.
over there. Like, you can't just feel entitled
Like,
to
we just
things
wait
in
for
this
news
way.
sites and other fan translations to tell the deets if they
Yeah.
want to. So, and respect to those guys who do put in the time to do it, because unfortunately, I think
fan
some of y'all need to
translation
remember,
community is real
Korean
down.
and Japanese are considered to be some of the hardest languages for an English speaker to learn. In
Mhm.
general,
I mean,
along with
I think
Chinese
a
and
bunch of
Arabic.
these-
So,
again, I do think a lot of the fan translators are Korean American,
Yeah.
but just it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
time.
It's a
cons-
lot
like,
of
these
it's a lot
people
of
are
time
not
for
getting
people to
paid.
do for free. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. These people are doing it for free. They have either day jobs or schooling. They're doing something with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep,
they are
yep.
doing this as a courtesy
Yep.
to others. It's a free thing that they are doing to be nice. They can stop at any point, and I know, especially back from the time back when things were mostly fan translated.
Right.
Some people did.
Yeah.
Because it got to the point where people were like expecting them to, especially if they were doing it for shows.
Yep.
They're like, I'm done. Y'all are assholes. Y'all are in, like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And they have every right to do that. It just feels very, why do you gotta be an asshole about it? Why you gotta ruin good things?
Yep.
So that's some of our unpopular opinions.
Yep. So a lot of them are ones we've talked about a lot before. Well, some of them
Yeah.
are new and spicy. So I assume like all our unpopular opinion shows, because the K-pop community craves negativity, this will get
Ew.
more listens than usual. So
Yeah.
I think y'all need the reality check that the K-pop community craves negativity.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Of
also
course.
what the unpopular opinions videos are.
Yep, that's what these are for.
Negativity.
Negativity.
Just saying.
Here
the
we
people
are again.
crave it. I'm giving the people what they want.
They do.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
our new tagline.
The
K-pop
people
community
crave
craves
negativity.
Are you not entertained?
I think we should put that on our banner.
We should absolutely need to add that to the banner.
Just quote Gladiator. Are you not entertained?
Absolutely love it.
All right. So we are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We also put all of our episodes on YouTube, where we post clip videos occasionally as well. And with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.